Makes you think that I'm an answer if you ain't mine. Even if you call me up on.
But let's go ahead and talk about the Black Adam movie. So yeah, I went and saw it. Um, and while I was thoroughly entertained, I don't believe that anybody's wrong when it comes to the review. I don't think either side is wrong. I think the critics have a point. I also think the fans got a point. So, I want to remind people, film is my thing. I went to school for filmmaking briefly. I didn't finish because the school was too expensive. Uh, so I am a critic. Not a professional critic, but I am a critic. I look at movies in different ways. And the thing you have, as I continuously tell y'all, the thing you have to ask yourself when you're reviewing these movies or TV shows or even video games is obviously the basics. Does it have a beginning, middle, and end? You know, how are the characters? How's the cinematography, the setting, the tone of everything? But you also have to ask what I believe is 50% of the question of a movie or a TV show is, did it accomplish what it set out to do? And so you can critique this movie as like how do you say? You can critique this movie as a competitor for an Academy Award, and of course you're gonna come away with a 3 out of 10. But this movie isn't meant to compete for an Academy Award. This movie is purely to entertain people. So what did they set out to do? It's a superhero action film that set out to entertain people. Did they accomplish the superhero part? Yes. Did they accomplish the action part? Yes. Did they accomplish the entertainment part? Yes. And also, I would add that they accomplished to give they set out to give the fans what they wanted. Did they do that? Absolutely. This movie, Black Adam, is like a 2-hour death battle episode. Have you ever seen Death Battle on YouTube? So it's this thing where they take characters from all over nerdism. We talking about anywhere from Dragon Ball versus Sonic, James Bond versus John Wick. They just take random characters from anywhere and say, what if they fought each other? Now, they kind of, keep the characters similar. They don't want any overmatched, whatever the case may be. But that's what they do. And so this is just a 2-hour death battle episode, except the question was, who could give not Shazam, what's this dude? Who could give Black Adam the hands? And the answer is nobody. Well, maybe Superman. But anyway, so straight out the gate, Black Adam wakes up $5,000. What the fuck is going on? 5,000 years later, all right, and he's giving out L's from the jump. Not much speaking going on. No explanation or anything like that. It's just, I'm handing out L's. That's what he does. He wakes up. Mind you, he was released from his prison. He didn't wake up and ask, hey, which one of y'all released me or something like that. I appreciate it. Nope. He turned around and he admits, spoilers, by the way. Just spoilers. He giving everybody the hands. All right. There's not much story and dialogue going on here because they just wanted to focus on action and entertaining people. There was a lot of missed opportunities and plot holes that didn't make a whole lot of sense. The Rock is, some people, I heard somebody say, I'm going to the theater to watch The Rock play The Rock in Black Adam. That is true. The Rock is playing The Rock. It's actually, in my opinion, pretty egregious that this guy wakes up 5,000 years later and even speaks English and speaks it with no accent whatsoever. I'm just saying that's a plot hole. Because when he first opened his mouth, I kind of expected him to have an accent. He did not. or speak another language, which he spoke another language, but it wasn't his primary language because he was speaking English. But anyway, so what else happened? So basically, this guy wakes up 5,000 years later, and he's confused. He's in a new time. The problem here is that he doesn't really have a motivation, right? He doesn't wake up and say, I want to liberate my people, or I want to go after the people who put me in that prison, or, I want to take over the world. No, he kind of just wakes up and is like, oh shit, okay, well, ain't shit to do. It's the woman and her son that kind of convinces him to liberate Kondak from the invaders, so to speak. And he reluctantly does that. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't really have any motivation. The only motivations he has is like people just pop up fucking with other people. So he's like, well, I ain't doing shit else, so I might as well go on and help, right? So then you get the Justice Society that shows up to fight Black Adam. And the reason they want to fight Black Adam is because they understand that Black Adam isn't the hero that the people think that he is. Another plot hole to me is that when Black Adam like appears before the people, like they immediately know who he is. Like, holy shit, it's the champion from 5,000 years ago. First of all, it's not the champion from 5,000 years ago that they thought he was, which is crazy that they was worshiping him, because what you find out, once again, spoilers, if you're still watching, is that the champion that the people were worshiping was actually Teth Adams' son, who's no longer, who no longer has the powers. Teth Adams' son was the nice guy. He's the fucking murderer, the mass murderer. That's him. So, I thought Hawkman was pretty dope. His character had decent motivations. He wanted to kind of bring Black Adam in because he thought Black Adam was a problem, which I would agree Black Adam was a problem. And I really love Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate was dope. I like Cyclone as well, even though I would argue that they kind of did her character a disservice because they introduced her as being this like really smart, whammon. I'm just kidding. They introduced her as this really smart woman who, has these abilities, and they never let her prove how smart she is. I'm like, okay, she's smart. Prove it. They don't do that. Atom Smasher, I ain't gonna lie. They could have kept his ass. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about him. I thought Atom Smasher was like annoying, the cliche, idiot. It's funny. In real life, there are some real idiots, but a lot of women are airheads too. And notice in none of these movies, you never see any women who are like some absolute morons. It's always men. But anyway, so Atom Smasher was pretty annoying. Amanda Waller appeared. Viola Davis. I love her as Amanda Waller because that woman is cutthroat. And then I'm trying to think what other characters. That was really it. Other than the mother and her son, I can't remember their name. They're not really memorable. Oh, and then there was obviously the villain at the end, who I felt like was pretty dope. What's his name? Sabak. I would have liked to see him more of his powers, and I wanted to see him devastate the world a little bit more. I need at least 40,000 more people to die to really get a gauge of his abilities and all that. But I thought he was pretty dope. He got his ass whooped though. I ain't gonna lie. He killed Dr. Fate, which I didn't like. I mean, like, I liked it for the film, but I didn't like that he did that. But that's just what it was. So, and then of course, let's go ahead and fast forward. There was an end credit scene. Amanda Waller pretty much threatened Black Adam and told him, if you step your ass out of conduct, we're gonna have them hands for you. And then Black Adam is like, who's gonna give me the hands? Ain't nobody on this planet gonna give me the hands. And so Amanda Waller was like, and she pretty much told him, this is why I like Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. That was perfect casting. She was pretty much like, bitch, I can send one little letter to Krypton and it'd be over with your ass. Even though Krypton don't exist. I don't know why they were trying to insinuate that he was off the planet, but then our boy Henry Cavill shows up as Superman, and he tells him we need to talk. So, does the movie accomplish what it needs to accomplish? Yes, it entertained us. We enjoyed it in the theaters. Great, awesome. Does it have a beginning, middle, and end? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Do the characters have believable motivations? Everybody but the main character. A couple of plot holes. But other than that, I think we thoroughly enjoyed it. We didn't have to deal with no woke nonsense in it. So if I had to give the movie a grade, I would have to say a 5 out of 10. But as entertainment, as purely entertainment, the kind of movie I would call this, I would call it shenanigans. It's a movie where you're just going for 2 hours of mind-numbing entertainment. I would give it a 7 out of 10 for that. So if you're critiquing it to win an Academy Award, I'd probably go 4 or 5 out of 10. But if you're critiquing it as a superhero film fit for entertainment only, it's definitely a 7 or 8 out of 10. So that's what I'll give it right there. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. If you've seen it, if you're planning on going to see it, go and see the movie, because you don't get too many films like this nowadays where they're not, lecturing you and virtue signaling throughout the entire movie. So I think it's worth giving it a little bit of support. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.
Let's go. Hey. Beat that thing down like you started a tantrum, my baby. You had some plans with your man, just tell him to cancel, my baby.